Okay, so here we go. We have our two factors that we want to be able to, our two polynomials we want to factor. For the left one, I want to be able to use the snowflake method. We're going to get -8 on top, 7 on the bottom, with our two top ones being 2x. Two numbers that multiply to give you -8 adds up to give you 7 is going to be 8 and -1. We're going to go ahead and simplify the left side. This will just be x over 4, pulling out a 2 on that side. The right side will remain the same, 2x plus 1, or 2x minus 1, sorry. So our final equation will be x plus 4 and 2x minus 1. So we have our value there. The next one, what I see here, I kind of want to do the factoring by grouping. Greatest common factor on the left-hand side will be y squared. Bless you. The right-hand side, I'm going to take out that -4. The commonality term that I see between them is a y minus 3. So I'm going to pull that out to one side, y minus 3 to one side. And then I'm also going to pull out my remaining terms, which will be another factored term. Now looking at this one, I'm going to kind of bring it to the top so people in the back can see. That would be my answer. Can I factor that out a little bit further? Right, we know it's a difference of squares. So it'll be y minus 3, and then y minus 2, y plus 2. Question, yes. Yes. I looked at the tests, and some of them have them already fully factored. So even though, as long as you're able to see it, I'm okay with you having your answer like that for the time being, but I highly recommend you factor everything out. Just get used to it now. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. So yes, do it. Yeah. It's not that you're going to get it wrong. Some of the test questions are multiple choice. And this top one might not be that answer. Does that make sense? So factor completely. Just factor it out completely. So that's, when you get to that point, you're going to be like, oh, I'm done. And then you're going to see the answer. You're going to be like, okay, that's not one of the answers, so I have to take a step further. Is what I want to see. Okay? And I'll tell you, either just factor in terms or factor completely. I would just do it because you're going to have to get used to it anyways. Okay? Yes? It looks like, so Mr. Braza was a day behind. Mr. Scranton's a day ahead. I'm kind of the in-between guy. When we spoke about it, Mr. Scranton was just going to go ahead and just do a little bit more review. So Mr. Braza was still going to catch up, and I'm still kind of doing our thing. So what kind of put us off was next Tuesday's minimum day, right? Back to school night is Monday. So back to school night is Monday. Minimum day is Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is regular day. So it kind of put us in a weird position. From my position, I think what I'm going to do is still finish up this week like it would be regular. We're going to still review tomorrow. We have one more, which is compound fractions we're going to cover. And then Friday, I'm just going to give you guys a quiz on everything we've covered. So this week we covered algebraic expressions, factoring. We'll do rationalization of factoring polynomials. And then compounding fractions will be the 4 that we're going to cover. So that will prepare you for the quiz for Friday. It'll be a full page. I made them a lot nicer than the last week's quiz, I think, and even some of the problems you see today. And then on Monday, what we'll do is we'll take a team test. Since Tuesday is a little bit shorter, we'll come in here. I'll give you guys your team test. We'll go over the questions. If I can review, I'll review what I can. And then Wednesday will be your test. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to talk to the other guys. I might let you guys choose them. I might let you do a 2x2. I'd rather prefer more groups than 2, only because it's easier for me to grade. Because I don't want to be grading 3 times in a week, because it's going to take me a while to grade them. And, I haven't made up the team test yet. I might make it all multiple choice, for you guys. So at least you guys have a little bit more leeway. They might be a little bit more trickier problems, but you'll be able to see it a little bit better. I haven't decided that yet. I'm actually finishing up your quiz right now. So once I kind of get that down, I'll have a better understanding for you guys. I'm hoping to give you guys a finalized on Monday. You're going to have it all multiple choice team test. This is what you guys are going to do. Do I make it very similar to the test? So you have fill in the front is all, because what I've seen at their test is fill in get write-in responses on the front, all multiple choice on the back. So it's kind of like, do I do it the same way? You know what I mean? So I haven't decided yet. I haven't really decided. Yes. I'm grading them right now. I decided just for me to grade them so we can spend more time on the content. If it comes out to Friday, I'll pass everything back to you guys on that Friday. So it should be in by Friday. And that's the thing why I hated last Friday, because I want you guys to grade them so you guys understand what you guys are doing. And this Friday, we're going to do that. I'm not going to spend that much time talking. I'll go over a couple problems in the homework, put everything away, do the quiz, grade it in front of you guys. So you guys know exactly. Probably 2 questions on tomorrow's homework, and that will be it. So, or whatever, Thursday's homework. So, yeah, my apologies. We'll get that all squared away. Okay. So here we go. Copy down the following. Nope, that's not homework. We didn't have homework yesterday. Precalculus, section 1.4, fractional expressions. But yeah, we're going to be doing the quizzes a lot faster. I prefer doing them a lot faster.
So are you grading them?
I'm grading them. I'm being a little bit more lenient for this first one as well, just because there was, as a freshman teacher last year, I was very lenient on what they were giving me. And I think not that I can't be lenient with you guys, but I got to give clear directions. I can't just say, oh, leave it with no negatives. Leave it. So there were some of you guys that wrote down your answer that was completely correct, but wasn't my answer because you left it as a negative exponent when I didn't say negative. So I'm being a little bit more lenient on those. They're almost done. I did already first periods, second periods. I just have to do the bottom portion to them. So I'm hoping to have them in by today or tomorrow for you guys. Yeah, first week back to school, we're kind of doing our thing, so kind of picking it back up. Yes.
Are you classing last week's class?
Last week's do nows will be graded on Friday. When you guys are taking the quiz, I'm going to be walking around during that time and doing them. So I'll do them all in one fell swoop, so we don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Okay. Fractional exponents. The objection is to simplify the radical expression or rational expressions. So we definitely want to be able to do that. There's not that much note taking. We have about 3 main slides. Everything else is pretty much going to be examples. So let's jump at it. Vocabulary. A rational expression is a fraction expression, whereas both the numerator and denominator are polynomials. For those that are forgetting, especially when I start talking about this, the numerator is always on top. Denominator is always on bottom. I know it sounds weird to think this, but it took me a while to get the two right. I always thought of demon, bottom, denominator, bottom, just me. It's down, right? I was dumb, but it worked for me. So if it works for you, cool story. So I always know the demon was on the bottom, so denominator was always on the bottom. I'm into all that weird stuff too for some reason. Watching Paranormal Witness and I did not. I'm not a scary movie. Like I'm into like the actual like the actual TV series. Like Paranormal Witness is a fantastic show. Ghost Hunters is kind of weird and whack. but I'll watch it. You know, especially when Halloween comes around, I like watching all those shows, the UFO shows and whatever. But I'm not a fan of the scary movies. The blood and guts, the Saw movies, no thank you. Final Destination, no thank you. I will not do those. Just get like these, like I'm in the shower, like what can kill me in my shower? I'm gonna slip on a, you know, no, I'm cool with that. I'll pass, you know. Because that's what happens. And then you freak out for the next 4 days and you're like, I'll just sleep with the lights on tonight. I'm like, your mom's like, don't waste electricity. Yeah, I'm okay. Or you freak out when it's like super windy, like, what was that? Oh, it was just a bush. Okay. Oh. Yeah, horrible, horrible. My brothers and I used to do it to each other all the time, scare the crap out of each other. But really? Oh, sweet. Sweet. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. My wife and I, have you ever seen the movie The Fourth Kind? Trippy movie. Watched that with my girlfriend at the time at a back alley theater in Fullerton at 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, it was bad. It was bad. I'm like, we got home. She was freaked out. I was freaked out for no apparent reason. We're like, we'll never do that again. She's like, let's watch another scary movie. Can we watch it during like 9:00 in the morning so I can? And then afterwards, can we watch a Disney movie so I don't have to worry about it? Like, yeah. Not that I'm chicken. I'm a big guy, but Jesus, I'm just I can't handle that. My mind can't handle it. Yeah. Freak out sometimes. It was horrible. I'm like, why did we do that? We're like laying in bed. She's like up against my back, and we're, you know, she's a girlfriend. I'm in college. It's fine. Whatever. You know. Well, her parents don't know what hurt her. Well, my parents don't know. It's not that. I was a good boy. I was a good boy. But just kind of like freaking out all the time. Like, why? Why? And I used to live with girls, and we used to watch scary movies together. I'm like, and then they all used to like sleep on my floor in my room in my dorm. Like, awesome, awesome. Yeah. I used to live with guys. I used to live with two. My first roommate, his name was Daisuke Matsumoto. He was from Japan. Um, and he was cool because he was actually like he trained to be a ninja. So he actually had like he was a ninja. He was a ninja. So we lived on a second-story building, and he locked himself out. But we always had the door open on our balcony. He just climbed the tree and like parkoured into our room. I'm like, awesome, awesome. He thought Target was a shooting range. Think about that. Think about that. If you've never seen Target in your life, what do you think it is? It's a bullet. I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense. He was crazy. He was a crazy guy. Yeah, I have another long story, but I'll hold that for later. Then I live with two Jordanian students. And I have to pause this because I'll tell you a quick story. Yeah, they became my sisters. We're still really close. She had a crazy roommate though. We'll have one crazy roommate. So simplification, we want to be able to factor these out. So we're going to do x plus 1, x minus 1. This is the difference of squares. I have a lot of crazy stories about college. Some good, some bad. Okay. Factoring, -2 on top, 1 on the bottom. What two numbers multiplied to -2 adds up to give you 1? 2, -1. So these are going to be my factors, x plus 2, x minus 1. And all we really want to be able to do is simplify out. So when we simplify, we can cross out terms that are like each other. So the x minus 1 and x minus 1 are the same. And this will simply leave us x plus 1, x plus 2. Okay. Cool? Okay, here we go. Next one. Try that out. Or write it out, and I'll do it with you guys. The first thing that you guys kind of want to do here as well is you want to rearrange them so that you have them in ascending order, the degrees in ascending order. I'm going to rewrite this one for the top. It's the same thing. This one's fine. But the one on the bottom, I'm going to write as negative x squared plus 4x. It just helps you better understand how to get the polynomials and terms out correctly. When we factor, do you want me to do the factor tree still, or are you guys okay with me just writing the terms? Just writing the terms? Okay. Two numbers that multiply to give you negative 12 and adds up to give you negative 1 is going to be what? 4 and negative 4 or positive 4? Negative 4. Negative 4, positive 3. Okay. If there's one of them you don't know, let me know and I'll do it. Okay. The greatest common factor for the one down below is going to be our negative x, it seems like. Because we want to make sure we have that positive x. I'm just going to pull it out. We're going to get that positive 4 going to change to a negative 4, sorry. That's, sorry, this should be a negative 4. And then all we want to be able to do is just reduce down again. Okay? So we're going to reduce this down. Our final answer, I'm going to write up above, just so everyone in the back can see it, will be x plus 3 over negative x. Okay. Okay, copy that one down. Yeah. So multiplying expressions, we just multiply across. Okay. Really not much to that. So copy down this one. Perform the indicated operation and simplify. We're going to kind of do it reverse. The easiest thing to do for these is being able to factor them completely before we do anything. If you factor them first and then group them, it's nicer. Okay. The numerator numbers and the numbers on top, we can just multiply across. Denominator to bottom, we can just multiply on bottom. So they just become one term. Now, what I would recommend is that you just keep factor terms over each numerator and denominator. So you're going to have to do 4 of them. Some of them less than that. If we're going to do the x squared plus 2x minus 3, what 2 terms multiply to give you negative 3 but adds up to give you 2? Positive 3, negative 1. Those become our factors. The bottom one multiplies to give you 16, adds up to give you 8. 4 and 4. If you have a regular term up here, we can just actually pull out the greatest common factor. 3x plus 12 is just going to be x plus 4. And then the bottom one's going to stay the same. We don't really need to change the bottom one. X minus 1. You can pull everything off to the right and rewrite it as a ratio all over 1. But what I would just do is just simplify from here. They're already on the top. They're on the bottom. We can just group them and simplify. The top portion, the x plus 3 doesn't have anything. The x minus 1 definitely does. But we're all just doing review, right? This should be review. Somewhat, yeah, kind of, yeah. This is going to leave us with our remaining terms, x plus 3 and 3. So I'm going to pull that 3 out in front. And then on the bottom, we're just going to have the x plus 4. Okay? So we can just reduce in that sense. Here we go. Did I skip over one? Are we okay? Yeah, we're okay. Do me a favor, try this one. Try this one out. She was heated. Okay, here we go. The difference of squares we have up on top. This will be x minus 5, x plus 5. The bottom one's going to be x minus 4, x plus 4. And then the other two are going to remain the same. So I'm just going to write these in a different color. We can reduce out from here. This is going to be positive 5 is going to cancel with our positive 5, positive 4, positive 4. Remaining with our last two terms, which is here and here. X minus 5, x minus 4. Cool. Okay. Dividing rational expressions. One thing that we want to be able to see here, I don't know why I cut it off. We usually say that we change flip, which we keep the first fraction. We change the division to multiplication. And we flip the last fraction. So I just want you guys to take away from that if you're using division. So copy that down for me. Ask my wife. My wife will say the same thing. She was there. She was there. Okay. A little bit bigger problem. Yes? We want to be able to see several things. We want to be able to factor this out. The top one is a difference of squares. It's going to be 2y minus 3, 2y plus 3. The other things that we have to do is we have to be able to foil them, or not foil them, snowflake these a little bit nicer. These are a little bit harder to do. We have negative 36 and 9. We have 2y on top, 2y here. What two numbers that gives us 36 but adds up to 9? 12 and negative 3. The first one down here, 2y minus 3, is going to be a good one. That one doesn't change. The one to the left reduces down to y over what? 6. So it'll be y plus 6. Okay. We want to be able to simplify the top one as well using the snowflake. We're going to get negative 6 on top, 2 on the bottom, or sorry, 1 on the bottom. Then 2y and 2y. This will be 3 negative, positive 3, and negative 2. This side, this left side, we're going to get 2y plus 3. The right side can be reduced down to y minus 1. Our last and final one, so this is a big, long problem. I get it. The quiz problems are a little bit nicer than this. Yes. I'm going to flip it after. We have to still flip it. We haven't flipped it yet. No, no. If you flip it then factor it, I always just factor then flip. It just, to me, so I don't worry about it. We're going to pull out the y for our greatest common factor. Once you pull it out, I'm hoping you're able to see that we can factor this one more time, which becomes y what is this, plus 6 y minus 1. So we have our full terms. We factor out the whole thing. It looks all big and great. All I got to do is rewrite it. 2y minus 3, 2y plus 3, y plus 6, 2y minus 3. That's our first fraction. We're going to change it now from division to multiplication, and we're going to flip our terms. So our pinks or violets are going to go on the top, and the reds are going to go on the bottom. And watch how nice this looks. Check this out. So all that work just for this. Check how nice it looks. 2y minus 3 goes away with 2y minus 3. That y plus 6 goes away with that y plus 6. 2y plus 3 goes with 2y plus 3. Y minus 1 goes away with y minus 1. What are we left with? Y. 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 All that work for that. So even though it might look super complicated, that's the beauty of that math, that factoring and simplifying looks really, really nice. Really, really nice. Okay? Yes. For this, I rewrote it here. So these are our factor terms, just one more time. And then all I did is I flipped it. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's all I did is I flipped it. Good question, though. Okay, here we go. Try to do that one. We'll try to have you guys do that one. You're never go 4 years. Okay. Up on top, we're going to have x minus 4. Bottom's going to be x minus 2, x plus 2. We're going to end on this. The top one's going to be x minus 4, x plus 1. Bottom's going to be x plus 3, x plus 2. I'm going to flip them. So we're going to keep the first equation the same. Oh, that's a horrible parentheses. X plus 3, x plus 2, x minus 4, x plus 1. So I flipped them. Now we got to do simplify. So plus 2 goes away with the plus 2. The minus 4 goes away with the minus 4, leaving me, that's it. X plus 3. Yep, x plus 1. Okay, that's it. That's all I really wanted you guys to do.